Once again, welcome you to this presentation under FEMA. It's a third-party payment made by authorized dealer bank directly to the customer. What are the important things that one has to see? See, normally, whenever an importer, imported the goods, it is a duty of the authorized dealer bank has to make the payment to the party. But sometimes they have to make the payment to the third party. What are the conditions? But before going to that, I want to go through this disclaimer. The views expressed by me in this presentation is my view only. For your clear understanding, please go and read thoroughly the provisions as stated in FEMA to the 1999. I am not responsible for any wrong interpretation. With this disclaimer, I am presenting the subject to you for your easy understanding. Dealer banks they are allowed to make a direct payment to the third party. But for this, they have to see whether the customer is having irrevocable purchase order or tri-party agreement. And if the party has got irrevocable order, purchase order, and if the party has entered into tri-party agreement, then the authorized dealer can make direct payment. But it is not required in case there is a documentary evidence that the third-party payment can be made and directly it is clearly stated in the invoice, or if there is an irrevocable order, it is clearly stated, then the authorized dealer bank, they can directly make the payment to the name mentioned in the invoice. That is third-party payment. They can make the direct payment. But before making the payment, the authorized dealer, they have to satisfy themselves that the importer has carried out the bona fide transaction. That is a very, very important thing. Bona fide transaction should be there. But before handling the transactions, the bankers, that is authorized dealer banks, will consider the final action task force statement. They have to go through the FATF statement. Then only after satisfaction, they will make direct payment to the third party. But the invoice should contain the name of the third party directly. If it is that, then they can, the authorized dealer bank, instead of making the payment to the supplier, they can make direct payment to the third party. And bill of entry should clearly mention the name of the shipper, who is transporting the goods. Name of the shipper should be clearly mentioned, as also the narration that the related payment has to be made to the third party. That should also be mentioned in the agreement. And the importer has to comply with all the necessary and required information with reference to third-party payment, because they, at the time of tri-party agreement, they have to mention that though the supply is being made by Mr. X, the payment has to be made directly to Y. It will be clearly mentioned in the invoice itself. And before making the payment, the authorized dealer, before making the payment to the third party, the authorized dealer will make necessary steps and they will do it. With this, I want to conclude my presentation that the third-party payment can also be made by the authorized dealer bank directly, but it has to be clearly mentioned in the invoice, and based on that, the payment can be made. But authorized dealer bank, they will mention, they will see that they are making the payment related to the bona fide transaction. Thanks for you for the patient hearing for this presentation. I'm going step by step so that I'm concluding my presentation with reference to third-party payment. Thank you very much for the patient hearing. Nandri, Vanakkam.